Let's rock and roll.
Harry, how do things change for you preparing for a pro fight now?
I think boxing is boxing, but there is a few differences. Obviously, the length of the fight. I think I'm just doing a longer rounds in the gym, more sparring, which is always fun. I think most boxers love sparring the most, so I'm just excited to feel like I'm back doing what I love and just doing a few more rounds boxing over the last few weeks, which has been nice.
Is there a version of you that we see that sits down on your punches in this fight?
I'm not too sure. I think whatever comes out on fight night comes out. I think naturally my boxing, I think having so much time off at the back end of last year, and I was doing a lot of cycling, and I feel like my legs got a little bit heavier, so I don't know if I'll be moving as much. And I think in that I might be throwing a few more shots because I'll be standing still a little bit more, but I very much do like my old style of moving and trying my best not to get hit. I think someone like a Floyd Mayweather, if you want a long career in this sport, you try your best not to take as much punishment as possible. So we'll see what comes out on fight night.
Does it feel different this time around? Yeah, there was a lot of, I suppose, attention and hype leading into your first sort of pro career, or first stage of your pro career. Does it feel a bit different this time around?
Yeah, I think it feels different for me. I think naturally in our 20s we mature a lot, and I think I learnt a lot last time I was professional, which is nice. I just feel like a bit of a different human. I just feel like a little bit more switched on, a little bit more mature, and I feel like I've simplified my life a little bit more. I just feel last time I was professional, the world was coming at me so quickly, and I don't feel like I knew how to handle it, to be completely honest. And I just feel like I've stepped back and I'm trying my best to focus on what really matters to me, and just being the best athlete and being the best person I can be really matters, and sort of not focusing so hard on all like the fame or all the other opportunities that come outside of boxing, and just realizing that my heart's not really in that stuff, although it's almost like I needed to experience that to realize that it's actually not what I like to do. So I'm just going to try and focus on getting my respect back for myself as a good boxer, as I feel like I have lost that, and you just want to feel like you're progressing and getting better as an athlete. I just want to focus on that over the next 12 months.
I was going to ask you that. I know that you're somebody that thinks deeply about whatever's going on in your life, and you just said then you feel like the respect that whatever around your boxing career wasn't there. Is that part of the motivation now? Like, I know you want this to be something that you do in 3 years, you get out safe and fit and healthy with a world title, but where does your mind go to when you think about this stage of your career?
Yeah, I think it is, for me, the biggest thing is getting my respect back as an athlete. I think prior to the Tokyo Olympics, there's something about athletes nothing else matters. I was obsessed. You hear Conor McGregor, you hear these some of the best athletes in the combat world talk about what they needed to do in order to get success, and someone like a Kelly Slater, they're just obsessed. Nothing else matters, and I just feel like I did lose that. The world was coming at me quickly after that bronze medal, and I don't think I knew how to handle it. And I think I started focusing on things that weren't boxing related, and I think it was a distraction, right? And I think I'm just grateful that I've realized that, and now I can sort of step back and focus on what I know makes me happy, and boxing is something that really makes me happy. And I think in that, when you're showing up as a disciplined, structured, you're not cutting corners, then you get the respect back, regardless of results. You show up as the best version of yourself on a fight night, and that's what athletes do it for. Success is just a byproduct of you being disciplined and you being structured, and you respecting the sport and respecting yourself and showing up as a good athlete, and that's what I'm trying to focus on.
When you say getting back respect, do you mean of other people, or are you talking about of yourself?
It's purely myself. I think naturally, there's always going to be a little insecure little boy inside myself who does crave respect, whether it be from my parents or whether it be from my community or even whether it be from strangers, right? I think that is natural. I'm super self-aware, and I think we do often chase validation and respect and recognition for things we do, but I think the biggest thing is for myself. I do feel like I lost that. I feel like I've got to live with my performance in Paris. Knowing that I know what I'm capable of, and I didn't meet my own expectations, and I've got to sleep with that, and I've got to live with that. And I think if I was to leave my boxing career after that performance in Paris, I think I would almost be in a really, really negative place later on in my life. So that's why I've got to get that respect back over the next sort of 4 or 5 years of my life, and make sure I'm walking out of the sport on my terms, with the respect.
Are you now comfortable with what happened in Paris? Have you made peace with it?
I think that's the reason why I'm back. I think in the next 12 to 3 years, whatever it is, I think I'll get comfortable and respect back. And I think that's the reason why I come back. I think if I was to retire after Paris, I think when I'm 40, then I would definitely be struggling, I think. So I'm grateful I'm back, and over the next 12 months, it's just all about feeling good in the ring. getting back to a good position.
Just further that, Harry, if you got a silver or a gold, do you think last time out, do you think we'd be here now?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think, yeah, I really do not know. But I'm sort of grateful that it didn't happen, right? I think we can reflect on our life and, you know, everything happens. I'm quite spiritual, and I think the universe works for us, not against us. And I needed to lose in Paris. I needed to learn something, and I needed to, it's almost like steer me back on track to the person that I want to be. And I feel like if I won a gold medal, if I won a silver medal, I feel like I probably would have just got thrown more into that fame side of things and probably lost myself completely. So it steered me back on track, and here I am doing something that I've done for 20 years. So I feel like I'm feeling more and more like myself each day, which is nice, and that's what I do it for. Yeah.
On the boxing front, like when you first came out and you've got tattoos of boxers on your legs, is there anyone that you still look to for that has that experience that maybe you had in the Olympics that has still gone on and had a great career?
Yeah, I think obviously like Roy Jones Jr. was a pretty stiff Olympics in Seoul, and Floyd Mayweather's not on my leg, but like there's been many athletes who I think have gone to the Olympics and not had the result that they wanted, and things didn't turn out how they wanted, but they still made something of their career. And I think it is possible. Failures and setbacks are just part of trying things, you know. And I think you can stay in your lane, you can stay small, you can stay comfortable, but I think in failure, even in success, is where you find out who you are. And that's why I'm trying my best to just get myself back in the boxing ring, because I think it is just the most honest and pure place you can go. And you know, you can't hide from anyone. You can hide from people behind a screen, you can hide from people saying you're going to do something, but I think getting in there and actually just being the man in the arena, that Theodore Roosevelt quote, and that's what I'm going to try and do over the next 3-4 years. And I can get my respect back, focus on trying to make a family in my 30s, and sail off into the sunset.
Just further on that again, like, you know, talking about, you know, being back in this position, like, how much do you think that you kind of, you know, when you put yourself out to go to the Olympics, or if you're putting your dream out there and you fail in front of in your words, you felt you failed in front of the world, like, was there a part of you that was like, man, I don't know if I want to go and do that again? Like, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, on Ben Damon's podcast, I spoke about that, and I spoke about, like, there is a young boy inside of me who's embarrassed. You know, we all have a young kid inside of us who at some point in their life didn't get picked, or they got picked last, or they lost the running race, or something happened where they felt embarrassed. And, you know, Paris was just a highlighting that there's a young boy inside of me that is quite embarrassed, right? I put myself out there, I proclaimed I was going to do something, and I didn't do it. I fell on my face, and I fell quite hard, right? Losing against someone who potentially I should have beat, right? But I think that's the reason why I'm back. I've got to earn that respect back for myself, because I feel like, you know, I lost it, you know. Prior to Tokyo Olympics, I backed myself. I wanted to fight the best. I wanted to take on challenges and fight the people who were best in the world. And I feel like I lost that. And I think boxing is the only place where I'm going to find that again. You're not going to fight it, you know, sitting in my bedroom dreaming of doing things. The only time is, what's that saying? The only way out is through. And I've just got to make sure I get back in the ring and just start throwing punches and see where I end up.
Do you think that feeling will like motivate you even